about 5 minutes or so. More if you want to throw out another real quick here ping and we can get some last minute stragglers going in and we can get this little AMA on the road.
Alrighty.
Sweet. Sweet. So everyone, welcome, welcome, right? This is our ninth episode of the Zootank here in Zooverse. I want to thank all of you guys for coming through. I also want to thank Wiley and Terstis, right, coming through from the Janitors. Um, so just like we normally start, right, if you guys could give us a quick introduction to yourselves and the quick project, and then we'll get things rolling.
Sure, yeah. This is great. This is a heck of an opportunity for us. We appreciate it. Typically, we are the ones hosting. We have a weekly Twitter Spaces where we host projects that we like, and we're the host. So, anyways, happy to be on stage chatting about our project. We are the Janitors. In short, our concept is going to be about sweeping floors of various projects, community driven, and post mint 50% of that revenue is going to go to a community wallet. From that wallet, weekly, we will be sweeping a floor, generally anywhere from zero point 0.5 to 2.0 ETH worth. And after that, we will take those NFTs and just raffle them back off to our holders, which is just a really cool concept. We're happy to kind of get into more of the details as how some of that will work in terms of the specifics. That's kind of the big overview, and Terces always has a good follow up on stuff that I missed. So Terces is our collab guy. He's everywhere. And what do you got, Terces? We lose Terces.
Maybe. Discord is known to rug in the middle of AMAs, huh?
I'll shoot him a quick ping here. Otherwise, let me just
Oh,
shoot
he's
him this.
trying. I can see he's trying.
Yep, he's coming back up,
Oh,
I think.
There he is.
invite to
Yeah.
speak. Let's see how it's gonna go.
Okay, can you guys hear me all right?
There we
Yes,
Right.
go.
sir.
Beautiful. I'm not sure what happened. I've been talking for about 30 minutes now. But
So I just gave the quick intro. I'm not too sure if you heard that, but I always like to throw it to you in case there's anything else that you wanted to bring up before we get going.
yeah, and I think they also kind of wanted an intro on us personally too
Oh,
before
sure.
even the project, right?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm always a big fan of that, man. I like to know what inspired you guys, where you come from, a little bit of background, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so with me, I've been in crypto since about 2017. Um, uh, got into NFTs right around early October, maybe late September, and fell in love pretty much, man. I I'm 30 years old. I am an in real life business owner. I've worked for startups, and I started a company about 2.5 years ago. So I have a lot of business experience, and the NFT space really intrigued me. And when I got into it in late September, early October, I just saw so much opportunity there. I started following projects. I started buying into some projects. One specifically, Llamaverse. Huge fan of NFT Llama and what he's done and how he works so hard to build every single day. And I just kind of started learning about the space. Got super involved, started buying a bunch of projects and figuring out the market and how it works, even though it shifts on a weekly basis now at this point. But yeah, and then after a little while, I decided, there's a good opportunity to build a project. There's a lot of artists and there's a lot of devs in this industry, but one spot that the industry really lacks is business minds. There's not too many good business minds, and that's why we see a lot of these projects that are artist led or dev led. They do really well initially, but then it's almost like a slow rug with a lot of these projects because they just don't necessarily operate an NFT project like a business, and it needs to be operated like a business, like a startup. And so that's I saw there was a good opportunity to do that, and when I first got into space, like I said, about in October or late September, I started entering giveaways because I was like, well, I'm not going to jump feet first right into here and start buying a whole bunch of projects. Maybe I'll win a giveaway, win some ETH, win an NFT or something like that. And I entered all these giveaways on Twitter and never won a single one. I was like, man, that's impossible. Why have I not won a single one of these? And so I started looking more into them, and I started realizing a lot of them were kind of fake giveaways where people were just farming for engagement on Twitter, building their Twitter base and stuff like that. And I wanted to provide a place where newcomers, and not only just newcomers, but people in the space could come and win real NFTs, um, and the community could vote on which undervalued projects that they find that could potentially blow up. And we wanted to give them, and I wanted to, give them an opportunity to be able to win these every single week, like a lottery. And so that's how the janitors kind of formed. And that's where we're at right now. We've continued to build and build a lot of partnerships, and we're finally starting to take off here. We've been working on this probably since late January, kind of just building behind the scenes. Haven't done too much marketing until recently, and it's starting to pay off. We're starting to get a lot of eyes on the project, and we're really excited to where we're going.
Yeah, I think that was all well said from Terces. Organic growth has been a big thing that we focused on, and we didn't want to be one of those hype projects. Our community is a true one. Um, but just to give a quick background on myself, really quick, and then we can move along. Similar background to Terces. I think it's what makes us a great team. I got into crypto probably 2015, 2016. I'm one of those classic guys that made some money off of Bitcoin and won't shut up about it at family parties. And I moved on into the Ethereum world and NFTs about the same time as Terces, and kind of the same mindset. He came to me with the idea, which was an excellent one. I was rugged a handful of times, hand up, and we wanted to build something. I too have worked for startups. I too have my own startups that I've tried in the past, and I now own and operate a successful business in real life as well. So, and our artist Flocy is also a business owner. So us three, we're approaching this a little bit differently maybe than most have in the past, and we're excited about all that. I think that ties up where we're at right now.
Yeah, 100%.
Amazing. Super cool. So before we get into like I suppose some like harder questions in terms of project roadmap and like vision and things along those lines and how you guys are going to execute. I am a big fan of the artwork, right? So like where did your guys' inspiration for the artwork come from? Do you guys have like a personal relationship with your artist? How did that whole I suppose connection in the team form?
Great
Yeah,
question.
so our artist is super involved. He's the third member of this tripod. He's super involved.
Love it.
We talk to him on a regular basis every single day. We have a lot of plans to do a lot of cool stuff with the art that he's creating. And honestly, correct me if I'm wrong, Wiley, but I think when we thought of the idea of janitors, we started looking at cartoon photos of janitors on Google, and we found a couple that we thought were really funny. And we're like, this is such a lighthearted, fun project. Let's create some really fun art. And Flozy was on board, and pretty much the first janitor he sent to us, we were like, yes, that's it.
That's the one, right?
That's
Yeah.
the one.
To back things up just a hair, I knew Flocy. Again, this was December, January-ish. Once I saw that I was not going to make my money, in picking the right projects, I wanted to build something on my own, and I knew Flocy from various conversations. I met him on Twitter, and Terces reached out to me. So that's how the connection happened. Terces kind of said, "Hey, that artist, where's he at?" And then I brought Flocy, and we've had a group chat ever since, and that bumps all day. So yeah, as Terces said, it is important, I think, for everybody to know that it's a triumvirate. It's not Wiley and Terces out here talking. It's usually the three of us, and he's just got some busy in real life stuff today. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
where it
he's
came
on
from.
every single one of our Sunday night spaces that we host where we bring on undervalued projects and let them kind of pitch to us. He's on every single one. He's always chiming in, talking about the art, especially. He's a super important part to what we're doing.
Mhm.
I love it. Super, super cool. So getting into more of your guys's like roadmap, let's say, clearly the whole idea of sweeping, right, is obviously evident behind it. Do you guys have any like experience in maybe like doing some sweeps where you potentially screwed up to an extent? So like I am a really big fan of the whole community initiative idea. So I like really where you're going in terms of allowing the team or allowing the community, right, to pick on a few projects that are undervalued. And my mind also goes towards, hey, maybe they could be projects that you guys also would be able to have onto your spaces, right? Or your Sunday night podcast to
Absolutely.
be able to then explain why they are so undervalued to your community, and then that would be a really cool organic way also to be able to um, kind of combine those two initiatives. So I'm wondering, like, how do you guys plan to really, I suppose, perform and execute the sweeps throughout the longevity of the project?
Sure. Well, Terces, I'll start just by explaining the process, and then you can talk about the physical sweeping using the genie there. Uh,
Yeah.
we will have a community uh, Discord channel that's dedicated to our community, our specifically our holders that will post projects that they think deserve to be swept. A little blurb as to why. Throughout the week, we're thinking maybe Monday to Thursday ish. From there, the founders, various community members will kind of narrow that down to the 10 most popular projects, and we will set a poll in the channel, again dedicated to holders of those 10, and the top 5 selected. Each person is going to be able to choose 5 top 5 projects that people want to see us sweep. Will then be tossed into a randomizer and selected live on Saturday. It'll either be a recording or we'll do it live. We're kind of figuring that out. And from there, whichever project is chosen by the randomizer, Terces will go ahead and chat about how we're going to handle that.
Yeah, from there, we'll use Gem or Genie. We'll go and we'll sweep the floor of that project and raffle the NFTs back off. And it's important to know that every single week, as a holder of a janitor, you will have uh, you will have one vote. But if you hold 40 janitors, you will have 40 opportunities to win the NFT every single week. So it's basically one for one. Um, we believe it's going to be all on chain, super easy for uh, our devs to kind of just run it every single week. So it's almost um, automatic for us. So it's super easy. There's nothing we really have to do. It's
It's also
basically
fully
going to
transparent
choose. Yeah,
instead
it's
of the
super
smoke behind the
transparent.
scenes.
There's no way we can tamper with it or
Disable.
anything like that. Basically, if you hold token 1258, 1392, whatever it is, you will win the NFTs that we are raffling off.
Cool. And so how far out are your guys' mint? Because I read here that it was like April 2022, and you have a price of around 044. Obviously we're in May right now, so I was just wondering what's the update on that.
Sure. Great question. And it's something that we're going to be making an announcement about soon. It's always interesting for anybody here that's built something like this to set that mint date right and make sure you get it right. You don't want to mislead your community, but you also don't want to set a date and then not stick to it. So the short answer is we had a long chat with our devs last night. It was excellent. And we're super excited about what we have going on. I think mid-May is going to be the most cement answer we can give right now. We definitely have a date in mind, but we want to make sure we're able to roll out all these collabs. In the last week, we've had an explosion of growth and different projects that kind of are interested and saw that as an opportunity to even further spread our word and get the name out there a bit, get our server jumping a little bit more. So we wanted to make sure that everything was aligning for a smooth mint. Once that happens, we're ready to roll. But so I would say we can, as promised as we can, tell you that we have a date within the founder circle. It's in mid-May, um, and I think we're just so excited to kind of get there. Anything I missed on that, Terces?
No, I think it's just it's important for us to we took a step back and we said, look, we're starting to gain some traction here. This is really cool. This is really good. We still have a ways to go. We want to build until we know that this is going to be a successful mint, this is going to be a successful launch, and we can immediately step into our plans and start rolling stuff out immediately. And so I think obviously the market changes pretty quickly in this space, but for us it was more so we wanted to ensure that we will have a successful mint, and we wanted to build some more collabs up and build some more partnerships up as we continue to get closer to our mint date, and just give ourselves a little more time to build and do it the right way. Because like Wiley said, we've done everything fully organic. A lot of projects some of these overhyped projects are paying for shills, paying for stuff like that. We have done everything 100% fully organic. Basically, me reaching out to projects, me reaching out to partners, even some in real life partners and in real life businesses that we're working on. But it's been fully organic, just saying, hey, we're building something really cool. No one in this space has done what we're doing, and we're going to execute it and do really well. And here's why. And that's how we're finally starting to see some eyes on this project. And we feel like we're still just really starting out. And there's just so much potential for what we're doing, potentially becoming a new meta as a way to give back to your holders and a way to give back to a ton of new people who are going to be entering the space here who have no idea necessarily what they're doing with NFTs, but now they can hop into the Janitors mint right here for 0.044 and have a true lottery ticket that happens every single week for you just by holding a Janitor.
In terms of that, yeah, in terms of when we're definitely looking at mid-May.
Cool.
Yeah, I think I rambled a whole bunch about a bunch of other stuff, but yeah, the short answer, mid-May is where we're looking at.
No worries, man. I do the exact same thing. Trust me. There's so many things that you're excited about to say. It's just hard to contain yourself.
Yeah, we're super excited about everything we have, from the art to the the simple utility that we offer, but just there's just so much potential in the space for business minds to come in here, people who are good at speaking, people who are good at networking, people who are good at marketing. Because, like I mentioned, there's so many good devs and there's so many good artists in the space, but they need help. And so, even down the road, there's potential for us to launch some sort of launch pad where we help artists and devs with marketing and business strategy and stuff like that, because we're going to see a lot of startups start putting out NFTs to raise money. You know what I mean? Like, this is going to be a new wave of people and companies raising money because it's a fun way to raise money, right?
Yes, 100%. And what I really like about you guys' approach is it sounds like you've just taken the time to further grow, further spread your web, right? Build more connections, build more friends in the space. And I'm taking a look at some of your art a little bit. And I noticed you guys have some pretty cool one of ones that you guys are displaying in the collection. Could you guys go into a little bit of your connections with some of the well-known artists, right, in the space that you guys have connected with to get them to do some collabs with y'all? Because I think for me, artwork is something that, off of the bat, obviously, if it's a whitelist or if it's a play that is definitely going to be potential rice, of course, there's the opportunity to make that move. But when it comes to investing, when it comes to making moves that I enjoy as my trade style, artwork is very important, right? Because there's so many projects and there's so many opportunities out there that if you don't vibe with the artwork off the bat, why force yourself into something, right, that you don't necessarily enjoy looking at? So I'm a big fan of the art in this collection. I really like it. I would love to know a little bit more about how you guys kind of made those cool connections, because I love the Jira artwork, and I noticed you guys have a one of one with Gibbon, I believe. So could y'all elaborate a little bit on those connections you've made?
Sure. Yeah, I'll just start because again, Terces will tell you all about some of those. And I just wanted to piggyback, Bambi, really quickly. You made a great
Of
point in the
course.
very beginning there about building and make sure we're ready to roll. We owe it to our community to do that. So it is a thin line between, we don't want to keep pushing it back for our OGs who've been there since February, but we do want to make sure that we're as ready to roll as we can be. So just to button that up, I appreciate that insight. I think you're very right. It's a thin line to toe, and we want to make sure that everyone that's been with us from the beginning knows that we're still on target, while also allowing the folks who haven't quite heard of us yet to get in. So I just want to button that up. I appreciate you. In terms of the one of ones, I just, before Terces tells you what he's done, because he's done some amazing stuff in terms of marketing, but Flosi, we can't overlook the guy. He did 69 different one of ones for us. 69 one of ones. That's just all pure janitor based Flosi art. And I just want to throw that out there. Our mod is in the audience right now, Bem. If you scroll somewhere, you'll see her. She's got Meg Griffin for anybody that wants to, is a Family Guy fan. That's just one of many. So, Terces, go ahead and elaborate on. I think we might have upwards of, is it 10 now? Guest artists. You see Crypto Rev down there with the Turkey's Megaverse. Go ahead
Yeah,
and discuss.
We have some crazy artists doing some one-of-ones for us, and honestly, um, it wasn't necessarily about uh, the the hyped artist. Like I didn't care about it being a super hyped artist, but I wanted to find artists that I thought could do a good janitor. And so the idea came because I minted a project a while back called GI Toads, right? And they had a bunch of one-on-ones in their collection, and I was hyped about it because there were so many different cool artists that were doing one-of-ones for this collection. And in the back of my mind, I always thought, okay, well, when we get our collection up and running, I want to reach out to some artists and see if they do some one-of-one janitors, because there could be some really, really cool stuff. And so the idea kind of came about doing that, and I reached out to a couple. I think the first one I reached out to was Turkey's Megaverse, because we had done a Spaces with them. I think Snoop Dogg had just bought a couple Turkey's Megaverse. The founder is from Ukraine, and so we wanted to support them. So we had them on our Spaces, and he's a young kid. He's 17 years old. He's also part of Next Day Bay. But we asked him if he would do a one-of-one janitor for us. He was super pumped about it. He loved our artwork, and from there I started saying, okay, well, let's see if we can get some other people. And Pop Art Cats actually reached out to me, Matt Chesko, who is a huge artist, not only in the NFT space but overall just a big artist. I think he has 4 million followers on TikTok, 2 million followers on YouTube. Um, he loved our art. I reached out to him. I said, "Hey, would you be interested in doing a one-of-one janitor for us?" He said, "Absolutely, 100%. I'll do it." And from there, I just kind of kept building on that and looking towards projects that I really liked. So the next one was Timmy Drift from Alogix, who we know the Alogix team really well, anyways, because um, some of their devs are actually devs for our project. So we reached out to Timmy Drift. He loved what we were doing. He loved the initiative of sweeping the floors and helping undervalued projects. He agreed to it. And then I did want to get one really big one that I thought people would really like. And I'm thinking about dropping that one-of-one tonight on our Twitter for people to see, because it's super cool. But yeah, Gibbon of Project Gojira agreed to do a one-on-one for us, and it is so damn cool that people are going to absolutely love it. And then we've got a couple other ones from projects, like Luke from Thingdoms is doing one for us. The Nonco Ducks are doing one. We've got a pixelated janitor that's going to be in there. But
Oh, very cool.
it's just
They're
like
all
what you
mintable
said.
too, which is I can't wait to see who mints these. That's the fun part.
Yeah, and it's just like what you said, where you mentioned, okay, the art has to be good in order for people to really like the project as well. So it's not just, we're very business minded, yeah, but the art is something we wanted to make sure was really good. And so we have so many different janitors in the collection, whether it be really cool one-of-ones, whether it be just our collection in general. I mean, even our standard janitor is just funny and cool looking, you know. And so we wanted to make sure the art was really good, on top of having a cool and different business model.
I love it. Super, super cool. So, Morph, do you have any questions up here? Do you think we should start maybe taking some AMA questions? We could open it up for a little bit. Wiley, Terse, is there anything else you guys would like to really kind of drill into the audience before we get some questions for you guys?
No, I think the concept is so
Actually, I have
simple,
a
and
question.
I'm all ears. Go ahead. Yeah, we love it.
So say that you guys mint out and no one listed. How sustainable are you guys? And have you guys did the math and say like, oh, how long we're gonna be able to keep doing this weekly?
Yep, of course. So yeah, great question. Probably our most common question, and it's a super fair question. Off the bat, 50% of mint revenue is going to the community wallet. So if nobody lists, nobody sells, we have a non-existent floor price because nobody sells. We have a calendar year worth of sweeps. It's a full calendar year. So that's great. We don't want to stop there by any means, but it gives us a bit of a runway. Now, on top of that, we will absolutely, and Tercy is super excited about all this stuff. We want to make janitors a brand. So merch is going to be an obvious thing. We want some high quality stuff. That'll definitely be an option. as well as a V2 janitor. Again, this is more, nothing in stone with this, but a V2 janitor with a much shorter supply that will be worth 2 votes in terms of potentially winning the NFT. But there's plenty of ideas out there for us for revenue. Now, the last thing, Terces, in case I missed anything, there will be some listed. They will be sold on OS, and 50% of the royalties will be heading back into the community wallet as well.
Yeah, so
Nice,
50%
nice.
of our mint is around 100 ETH that's going directly into the community wallet right when we mint. So when we mint out, 100 ETH goes right into the community wallet. And yeah, so that gives us a pretty long runway of sweeps, right? Just there on mint alone without even dipping into secondary. But like Wiley said, for the secondary sales, 50% of the royalties are also going to go back into that community wallet. Obviously, there's stuff, other ventures and stuff that we want to do. And I think we will be able to. A 1-year runway is so long in this space. I mean, I look at some of these projects that dropped in like July, like Rumble Kong League and stuff like that. It feels like they've been around for 10 years, right? And it hasn't even been 1 year. So 1 year is a long time. And with with our business background and our marketing and networking background, we're already working on partnerships, in real life partnerships, potential merch, because what we're doing, like Wiley said, we're building a brand, and our merch and stuff like that is not going to necessarily be tailored around just janitors. I mean, we've got Wiley is cooking up some incredible ideas for sweep logos and stuff like that, something that resonates with everyone throughout the space. And so we're working on a lot of stuff already behind the scenes because we're just excited for the mint, and we're excited to get to that point because that's when the real work kicks in, right?
Yeah,
100%.
totally.
Awesome. Great answer. Morph, anything else?
Um, so how's your community like? In the Discord, how is it like?
That's a
It's
great
crazy.
question.
It's not that big. We've got about 3,000 people in there right now. We're growing, a couple hundred every single day now at this point, sometimes even more. But it's a pretty tight knit community. Everybody. What's great about our community is we don't. You see a lot of discords where people kind of discourage talk about other projects. Our main chat is all talk about undervalued projects, all talk about projects that could potentially be swept, and it's just a really fun spot for everybody to kind of learn about other projects. And there's a lot of new people in the space in there who are coming in here and getting a lot of good advice from people like myself and other people in our Discord. So it's definitely a fun Discord, still fairly small. Curious if things start changing a little bit as we get to 5 and 10,000 in the Discord.
For now, I did
I'm
want to say
sure
that
it's gonna be insane here.
that's one thing that I kind of work on as a community type stuff, and you hear this sometimes now, but we don't grind for the whitelist opportunity, so it's not always like it's going to be crazy bumping in there, which we like. People come by because they want to. Getting to certain levels will not give you a whitelist spot. Same thing with the invites. We haven't really done too much with that. But so what that's fostered is this like just incredible sense of alpha, really, because you have all these people in there chatting, and now Terces and others like him genuinely are chatting about products they're targeting and why they're targeting it, which leads to these newcomers getting in and hearing why people like certain projects and why they did well or why they didn't do well. So super healthy community, super excited about it, and it's fun too. I mean, I do stuff. If you guys are listening in, hop in there.
It's
I love
funny.
those.
We do a lot of funny stuff in there.
Yeah, just do random. Like I have this thing called Wiley Trivia, and it's not anything serious. It's not. I don't have a playbook. I sit on my computer at night and I just think of questions as I go. And since our community has grown organically and slowly for a little bit here, the OGs that are in there, they know it, and it's just fun. It's a fun back and forth, and that's how
Yeah.
we give out some whitelist spots. So it's a lot of
And
fun.
it's funny questions too. Wiley will ask stuff like, "What year did I go bald?" And then whoever gets it right, which when did you go bald, Wiley?
That was 2020 was officially when I
2020.
went
Right.
when I went to the big. Yeah.
So yeah, funny stuff like that. Sometimes I'll do some games in there where I'll just post pictures of janitors in movies, and if people guess the movie right, Um,
On what
I'll
list?
just give them whitelist. There's no like rhyme or reason to our whitelist spot. We've been giving some out to communities we really like, strong communities that we really like. Not too many, um, but in our Discord, it's kind of just, hey, we like you, whitelist. There's no like there's no grind or anything like that. Sometimes I just pop in and start giving them to random people.
Yeah, that's cool. So that's a great question. I appreciate that for sure.
That's nice. I feel like the meta right now is just not like ideal. It's not sustainable how people are grinding for whitelist, doing fan art for like whitelist. Well, I appreciate the fan art, but sometimes people are expecting something in return,
Sure.
which is not something that the project want,
Well,
I
I think
Yeah,
guess.
the
and it's
problem, like you're
stressful for
saying, yeah. Go
for
ahead, Tercy.
people.
Just go, man.
It's stressful for people too. So like I remember the days of grinding for whitelist and spending hours and hours in this chat just so I could get to
Yeah.
like level 15. And it's just horrible for your mental health. Like we want to encourage people to spend some time outside, go on a walk, stuff like that. I don't want you sitting in front of your computer or on your phone in the dark all day, all night. You know what I mean?
To
Like
add to
it's
that really
great.
quick,
Web3 is fun and we're having a blast with it, but there's got to be a balance, and we don't want people grinding all
Yeah,
day in our Discord.
I just want to
definitely.
say in our server really quickly, we have people come in after not seeing them for a couple of days, and they're just like, "Hey guys, sorry, I've been grinding for like this whitelist. Like, sorry you haven't seen me. I've been in another server trying to grind." So yeah, we're laid back in ours.
I love that. Super cool.
And
See,
another question. Oh, my bad. Go for it.
nah, dude, all you, Morph. Let's go, bro. Been talking all
I'm just
day,
super
baby.
curious. So
I
you
got
guys are
2 more
talking
AMAs
about
today, so you
sweeping.
saved my voice. Let's go.
Yeah. So you guys are talking like sweeping undervalued projects and like new projects and stuff. So what are the projects that you guys are looking at right now? So like what are the undervalued projects in your eyes like right now?
That's a good question, and that's a hard question, right? Because you have to look at a couple different parts of a project, right? You have to look at what are their future plans, what have they done so far, who are their leaders? Like take a look at who's leading this project. What have they done in the space so far, right? How active are they? How active is the Discord? We'll pop in Discords of projects who ask to come on to our Sunday night spaces, and we'll take a look in there and see if there's some activity. Sometimes I'll go in and I won't see anybody talking for 6 hours, and I'm like, well, I don't know about having them on, right? And so there's a lot of stuff we look at, but I think it really boils down to it's going to boil down to a lot of what the community thinks, and if there's a good majority of our community who thinks that this project, like one we had on last night, I can tell you 100% super undervalued project right now. Crypto Dads, really cool project launched in September. They've done stuff from like energy drinks to beer for their holders. They have an NFT world where they're building a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, and their floor price is 0.08. And talking to the founder Anthony last night, super down to earth guy who's building some cool stuff and building a really good partner, building a ton of really good partnerships. I would 100% recommend that project as a sweep. The hard thing to look at this stuff is um, so the way the NFTs are working right now, as you guys know, is everybody wants the shiny new toy, right? So there are a lot of undervalued projects that may never get back to the value that they deserve. And so we want to find projects that even if the floor price doesn't rise, they're still doing things to help their holders, whether it be in real life opportunities, whether it be giveaways, whatever it may be, to where people are still getting value from the project.
Yeah, totally. I feel like there's a lot of projects that don't deserve the floor that they have right now, which is like another one is Antonym. I feel like they could
Oh
have
yeah.
been a lot more than they are right now. The project is amazing, but it's just the market and what they value, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I haven't looked into Antonym that much, but I've seen how they've kind of just continued to slowly drop and drop and drop, right? I mean that's the case with a lot of projects, but when I see that, I look at the founders, right? I look at what do they have planned? Like, are these guys or girls leaders? Are they going to drive this project back up? And if they are, what are their plans? Right?
Well
Yeah,
said.
and
Well
I
said.
I was reading I was going through the website, and then, well, not the website, just the brief introduction that you guys sent us, and you guys are actually doing like votes on like what to sweep.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
We're doing a
are you
vote.
guys going to do like research with the holders, or will you have like a list of projects that you guys think have potential or are undervalued, and then put it up for voting?
Yeah, this is a good question, Terces, and it's one that we will continue to hear for sure. We will be vetting projects, absolutely. All three founders have a great read on the market. Terces being our go-to guy for that, but myself and FlowC still are involved in the NFT space as well. So we also have what we're kind of putting together. We're calling a little bit of an alpha council, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So in short, yeah, the community is going to vote on these projects and all that, and for the most part, we're going to let the community do its thing. But we won't have them go. I'm not going to name any projects here and throw anybody to the bus, but we all know projects that aren't going to come back to life. I think that us three founders, especially Terces, has a good grasp on that. And if we need to kind of say, "Hey guys, look at where," or if we know the founders have a shady past, that's something we will absolutely have our radar up for. It won't be completely unfiltered.
Yeah. And another thing to mention too about what we're doing with the sweeps are, so say you don't win an NFT, right? That week or whatever it may be, there's still a good opportunity for you because you've learned about the project. Because we're going to do so much research on these projects. Even if you don't win the NFT, you may still say, "Hey, this is a project I want to invest in at a discounted price. So this is really cool. I'm going to hop into this project just like the janitors who are taking 25 of these off the floor." And so I think it's just a good opportunity we may see like massive community sweeps throughout our community of people who are just like, well, if the janitors are buying this project, I'm going to buy a couple as well.
We're curious to see what that secondary effect is that we frankly won't have much control over.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see for sure because there isn't really anybody doing this on a scheduled weekly basis like we're doing, and so it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out and if it's something that people genuinely love. I know for a fact it's going to be fun in our Discord because we give away NFTs on our Sunday night spaces sometimes, and it's already a blast.
Yeah, it's fun.
Maybe you go.
Stuff. Really appreciate these. These are great questions, and we love hearing them. So if anybody too from the audience,
We love talking. If you
I
haven't
was
noticed.
I was
as
just
he
about
said,
to say that. Yeah, me and Morph have asked some good questions. We've taken up a good amount of time, guys. Anyone from the audience want to pop up here? Do feel free to just raise your hand up. We'll get you up here on stage. Looks like we got one person right here. Heba, we'll get you up, my man. You should have an invite to
I
speak.
love this when I host the Twitter Space on Sunday nights. The Wild West on Twitter, man.
Oh
I had a guy
God, tell
come
me
up the
Oh,
about
other
it.
day.
it's so funny.
He was in downtown. I think he was in downtown Mumbai, and he just wanted to like talk about what he was doing for the day, and I had to kind of
Yeah, you
hit
can
him with
hear
a mute.
honking in the background. He's like,
Yeah,
"Well, what's up, guys?"
yeah.
I love it. All right, Heba, I'm trying to bring you up. I've tried to invite you. Um, I don't know if it's working or not for some reason.
Wiley, we had a guy last night in our Discord or in our on our Twitter space. You missed it, but he hopped on, and he wanted to ask a question. And he just got up and he's like, "Oh, feline fiends, cool. Didn't know you guys were in here." And that was it.
Man, it's a Wild West out there. So
Oh
heck,
It's
man.
so funny some of the people
has,
who hop in and just say stuff.
love it though. Anything that you guys
Oh, I
have,
love it. It's so funny.
Wow, no questions. Usually we have some people ripping to get up here and ask some questions. Let's see.
I think that speaks a little bit to the simplicity of what we have going. You
Set.
know,
We
I
got
think it.
7.
We
Let's see.
got Heba, 7, Flip. Are any of these able to be? There we go. We got 7 up here right now. How we doing, 7?
I'm all right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, brother.
All right. I literally just turned up, I think yesterday, on somebody recommended your server, and I was in the holding area. So I'm literally learning all about your project. It's fascinating. It's really interesting. Very different concept to what I've seen before. So kudos to you guys for actually seeing the opportunity and helping the community out. So just wanted to start by saying that, but I also wanted to follow up by saying I'm part of quite an influential alpha group. Well, that's the wrong phrase. A whale group, and I'd love an opportunity for you guys to come to an AMA and give them some of this stuff. I think they'd love it. I think my community would be well into that. I don't know if that's something you guys do or interested in.
We love talking. If you haven't noticed, we will talk to anybody. I think we started doing these with like 3 people in the crowd,
and they would last 2 hours. But so the short answer
and
here,
they
Tursi,
last 2 hours.
I appreciate
We'll
it.
talk your ear off.
We love Zooverse. We're in the Zooverse server
Well,
right now, so feel free to.
well, you know
hop
what? I think
on our
we're
server and
going to get
open it.
on really well because I love talking as well. So
Awesome.
we're going to get on just fine.
Hop on our
Yeah, that
server,
sounds good.
open
Just
the
shoot us
ticket.
open a ticket in our server and let us know about the group, and we'll see if we can get something scheduled.
Sure.
That would be brilliant. I've sent Terces, I've sent you a friend request as well. There's no pressure if you say no, but I think my community would love what you're doing, and a dead whale in, dead ape in, definitely. So I think it's a great opportunity.
That's a
Cool.
hell of
Yeah,
an accent,
absolutely, man.
so
Really
I'm in.
appreciate you.
All right, I'll leave it to it. I'm sure you got a lot of other questions coming up.
Cheers, bud.
All right,
Well,
guys.
we might not.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
So if
okay, well,
you got anything else, just keep it going.
yeah. Well, so I was curious. So you did is it the 400 OG collection? So like I said, the Gen Zero collection. So I'm sort of playing catch up here. What was your thoughts when you launched it? Did you think it was going to be as big as it is, or did you think the project would develop the way it has?
Are you talking about the Janitors, my friend, or are you talking about Zooverse?
I'm talking about Zoopers.
I love it.
There you go.
Morph, you want me to knock this out, or do you want this?
You go for it, man.
You want me to
Well,
get
we
this
can
one?
actually share our experience, kind of like.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Thoughts, yeah.
Cause so we have the original, right? The 444 collection was the original Gen 1 launched a couple of months back. In terms of how big everything has gotten, I don't think that most people could really expect a project to kind of get to this level in that short of an amount of time, realistically. So I think we're all excited about how far it's come. Like a lot of the things that we've discussed previously in this AMA, as well as many other AMAs that I'm sure you guys have listened to over the last couple of months, networking and building connections, building relationships, and really trying to provide value for your community in an honest, earnest way is really kind of where the meta is going, if you ask me, right? Like taking care of people, paying it forward, not taking advantage of others, even though you might be able to make a quick buck. I think we're going to see a lot of people kind of talking about this whole Yuga Labs situation over the last couple of days in a different light, in a more critical way, just based on the, let's say, ripple effect that we're going to see over the NFT space. So, in terms of how things have developed for this project, I wish I had a little bit more insight, but Ollie's so sneaky and secretive. He keeps everything so well under locks that up until a couple of weeks ago, I'm just a community mod, right, who does these types of AMAs. So, in terms of project development, I just keep the good vibes. So, like, I'm happy that it's turned out to be such a positive place for people to hang out in. The growth that we've had in the last, what is it, Morph? Let's say like 2 weeks, I'd say, man, it has been kind of crazy. Like a month
Yeah.
ago, we would have 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 people in voice chat, and we only needed one. Now we need at least 5, 6, or 7, and we see 4 or 5 people in each one. So in terms of how the project has went, it's quite an amazing experience to be able to see it personally on the inside, right? I'm pretty humbled to be on the team. It's kind of amazing just to think that I was pretty much just like anybody else listening 6 months ago, just hanging out in the Discord, just an NFT guy, just buying and selling, trying to have a good time and make a little bit of money. But I kind of stayed for the community, and I think that's kind of what, for me, Zooverse has really, I suppose, brought forth in light, right? Like Wiley Terse is, like you guys said earlier, you have members in your community who will be gone for a few days, come back and apologize for being gone. It's very similar here, right? It almost seems like it's a home base where even once people have whitelists for Gen 2 here, the environment is still so enjoyable to be around that that's something that I really am happy to see, because I know in this space there are a lot of places that just right, grind, get the whitelist, dip out. But here it's nice to see people after getting whitelist still coming back, still spending time, almost having this as a home base after grinding for another whitelist in another project, where this has kind of turned into where they enjoy spending their time when they're not trying to grind. So that's the thing that I think has really shocked me and surprised me in a positive way in how everyone has enjoyed it so much. So I suppose more if you're in a similar position as me in terms of, right, like our community angle, but you do more of the collab. So what's your kind of experience in terms of how we've grown over the last month or two?
Well, this position I only took up for a month, and yeah, the journey was amazing. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it short because this is about the janitors. But yeah, so basically, the project was really unorthodox at the time, like really early on in the project. It was there's no information. The sneak peek was troll. None of the sneak peek that Ollie posted ended up in the collection actually. So, cause it's just really troll. So yeah, I love the vibe, so I stayed, and 3 months later, still here.
It's funny because when you get into a community like this, you really s- like, because this is like, that's like for me in Llamaverse, right? Like no matter what, I'm not selling my llama unless it goes to some absolutely bonkers floor price where I'm like, well, I really should maybe sell it and I need some money. But otherwise, because I've been so involved in the community and I just, it's like it was almost like a home base for me starting in November when I first bought my llama pass for 0.14. That it's just like I don't think I'll ever sell it. And I think that's it speaks so much volume to the leaders and to the people in the community. And Zooverse is that same kind of community, it seems like.
Yeah, I feel like the community here is pretty strong. Um, for the past 2 weeks, we've been growing and growing our Discord. I remember like a month ago, I think maybe we were at like 4,000 members.
Yeah, there's that
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
4.7.
yeah, we just got a lot of new members here. And everyone's having fun. Everyone is really welcoming and just fits right in.
Yeah, exactly.
The only thing that's confusing is you all have the same profile picture, so I don't know who is who
Yeah.
anymore.
I see like there's
Yeah,
a
I was
lot,
actually gonna
of
ask about that.
different
So we don't
colors
really
right
know
now,
what
which is
happened.
Hi everyone. Can I ask an answer for you, Morse?
Yeah, but sure, go for it.
Yes. My answer is why until now you don't put any mode for Arabic chat?
I'm sorry?
So
Uh,
as we are pushing closer to mint, we are not looking to expand our team just yet. We might be having more on board after mint, but for now I think we're doing okay.
okay. Thank you so much, Morse.
So Wiley had to hop off. His wife has a doctor's appointment or something like that. But yeah, if we don't have any other questions, we can do whatever you guys want to do, wrap it up, and or whatever you guys want to do, really.
Well, I actually wanna see if you guys wanna do a link drop so our people in the AMA can actually hop on.
Yeah. Where do you want me to drop it?
Well, actually, I think I do have a link. Hold on, let me check.
Yeah, it's just we're not a closed Discord. We opened it up a little while ago, so we're keeping it open for now. We'll see how we'll see if we continue to do that. But
Do you
we've
want me
thought
to
about
right
closing it.
now? Are you cool?
What's that?
Should I drop a link right now?
Yeah, drop it.
Alright, I'll drop it in voice comm, so whoever is listening in, feel free to hop in and say hello. Rate them with our Zooverse role. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. I see a lot of our janitors community in here, a good portion of them. Just want to say thank you guys. A lot of you have been with us since like mid-February or so, and you like what we're doing, and you super supportive community members. Really appreciate all you guys.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Just by listening to you guys, I feel like you guys are gonna be something, and
I feel
like
like,
you guys are
and I'm
building
super
something really
biased,
cool.
but I always say I still feel like the Janitors is one of the most slept on pre-mint projects in the space, and we're kind of like a sleeping giant, especially because I do think that there's potential for us to be starting this kind of new meta because no one is doing what we plan to do, and nobody has done it yet. So it's kind of this new concept that's refreshing in a way, and I do feel like we're very, very slept on right now.
Yeah, a lot of projects are like this, and I'm sure you guys are going to make people regret.
I hope so. I hope so. But it's just like
Yeah,
you said, there are so many projects and so many smart people in the space that there's so many projects that I find a new project almost every single day that I'm like, how does this project not have, 20,000 members in the Discord? And I follow Aurelius, his uh, spreadsheet that he makes for pre-mint projects, and there are some projects on there that I'm just like, how did I not know about this project? It's amazing.
yeah. Aurelius is a crazy hunter. He's
Oh,
insane.
he's incredible. He found us, you know,
He's on
like
point.
Yeah,
he found
and
us when we had 2,000 followers on Twitter. He found us and he sent us a message. And I think like 4 days later, we had 23,000 on Twitter, and um, I was like, man, he's good.
yeah, that's crazy.
Super
Um,
cool.
yeah, so we're excited. We're excited over the next couple weeks to continue to build and launch this project and start. Like I said, the real building, the true building, and the true test is once you mint, and then you have to really start building for your community, right?
Yeah, that's when. Well, I actually heard this from AM Twitter Space earlier. It's like every project is a cash grab. It's just depending on how the project uses this money
Yeah,
to make the best out of it.
absolutely. And you know what I see too is there's so many people in this space who have never had money, and they create a project, and now that they have all this money, it's like a pro athlete who has never had a lot of money, right? And they
Yeah.
become a pro athlete, and now they have all this money, and they don't work nearly as hard as they did previously to get the money, right? Because now they already have all this wealth. And they're like, okay, no matter what I do, I've already made this money, right? And so there's a small percentage of people that are the Kobe Bryants of the world. And I feel like knowing Wiley really well and knowing myself really well, we are those type of people who um, are going to continue to grind because we don't necessarily care so much about the money that's coming from this, but we care about our reputation and building something in this space that's going to continue to grow because the space is still early, still so early. I mean, Coinbase just launched their NFT beta, and they still have a long way to go with that, but there's so many people and businesses that are going to be entering the space that we're still so early, and we're just super excited to continue to build.
Nice, nice.
Amazing. So I have one last quick question for you guys from Polish Tech Guy in the chat. He's wondering for the janitors, what are your top 5 overvalued NFT projects at the moment?
Oh man.
Nice, reversing everything. Nice, nice.
Oh, overvalued. That's so tough right now because I feel like there's so many undervalued projects because everything's down, right? Other
Mm,
side every other side took so much money from stuff. Moonbirds took so much money from stuff. But that's really
Top 5, I hear that.
yeah, top 5 overvalued projects would be pretty tough, but I think there are quite a few projects that I feel are overvalued. But it's hard to say, man. It's hard to say. I think um, even some like, you know, I mean, I look at the top of these charts right now, and I'm looking at VFriends. I still feel like that's undervalued. I look at Azuki. I feel like that's super undervalued still. So overvalued projects, it's hard to say. I think some of the ones that I feel are overvalued are strictly just art projects that aren't providing anything besides that. So, maybe one that I feel might be overvalued right now, maybe imaginary ones, just because they minted and they're sitting at like a 1.5 floor, and we still don't know what's going to come from that. That could be just that could be just their art, right? It could be just a similar style art to what Motion Marcus did with Invisible Friends. And we could see that drop down, just like kind of Antonym did, where it just continued to slowly drop down. But the other thing is, if they come out swinging and they have a team, which they do have it seems like they have a good team, but if they have a lot of partnerships and stuff that they're building, it could go the complete opposite way, right?
For sure, for sure.
But I would say that would probably be one that I feel might be overvalued. I wouldn't purchase imaginary ones right now. One, because they haven't revealed yet, and I think there's going to be an inevitable drop there with like
I think you got cut out a little bit there, brother.
that's the next step for them.
You're back, bro. You're good, Tarsus. Clasher, we can hear you. Yeah, you're a little bit muffled though.
Oh, I wanted to ask, what do you guys mostly see before sweeping a project? Like, do you prefer seeing the community more or the utility wise?
What was that?
Do you not understand my question?
I think what he was saying is, well, when you're sweeping a project, what do you prioritize? Do you look at the community or the utility? Is that
Yes,
about
and
it?
and the team too, and the team too.
And I can't hear. Your mic is kind of muffled.
What
Yeah,
do you guys see more? Like the team, the community, or the utility of that project?
I think we look at a whole bunch of things. So we look at the utility, we look at the art, we look at the team behind it, specifically those three. And then, like we said, we're going to let the community decide a good chunk of it, but we're going to vet a lot of these projects and say, you know, we'll definitely say, well, I don't know if we agree with this, guys. Looking deeper into this project, there's a history here, blah blah blah, whatever it may be. So we're definitely going to vet some of these projects, but I think we're going to look at a whole bunch of different things between the utility, between the future of what they have planned, and if it's something that they can execute, and then the leadership, and then as well as the art. Is it art that art is subjective, but is it art that seems to resonate with people in general?
Oh, okay. What do you guys will prefer if I wanna sweep a project? What should I look for?
What should you look for in a project?
Yeah.
So I would say the first thing, the number one thing I look at is I invest in people. I invest in people like NFT Llama. I invest in people like Voltura. I invest in those type of people that are going to keep working and are going to lead a project and do it well. And that's the first thing I look at. That's the one thing that I look at 100% of the time is the leadership of a project.
Or like you're saying, we should bet on established teams who have proven themselves in the space.
I'm I gotta say I can't hear it that well.
You're saying we should bet on established teams who have already
Yeah.
proven themselves.
So always bet on the team over
Yes.
hype.
Yeah, bet on the people. Bet on people, especially as the space really starts evolving like it is right now. Bet on people, 100%. Bet on the team. Look into the team for sure because the space has changed. I mean, back in November and December, you could pretty much anyone could pretty much mint out, right? Projects were minting out left and right. Um, but without us even knowing anything about the team, without us even knowing what their capabilities are and stuff like that. But things are changing now to where people want to know a lot more about projects before they spend their ETH.
Yeah, the market has turned upside down
On.
completely. Okay, thank you guys for answering my question.
Yeah, thank you so much for answering. Hop in our Discord.
Thanks, Clasher. Appreciate your
Yeah,
time,
I
man.
will. Thank you, man.
I think Ezra has a question.
I've been trying to get Ezra up for this entire time, so if you can get Ezra up, that would be phenomenal. Or if their hand has just been up for a
Start
while, I'm not
begging.
sure.
Please, come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, as we are just waiting for questions or maybe Ezra hopping on. I just lost myself. I had a question. Oh no.
Well, that's all right. There is one last question in the questions chat right now. We have Haskell wondering, Alpha seems to be pretty huge right now, tools as well to be better, to be faster, etc. Do y'all see this as the current meta in this space? And if not, what do you see as the current meta?
I love tools. The problem is that I'm seeing now is there's new ones that are doing the same things popping in every single week, right? I mean, looking at it, even just last week, you had Alpha Labs, you've got Rise coming, you've got Alpha Sharks, you've got Trait Sniper, you have all these different tools, right? And so people are going to use all of them and they're going to be okay. But if you're expecting the floor price of these projects to continue to go up, with other tools and projects of similar style coming into the space every single week, I don't see it as something that's going to be a big money maker for you. Now, if you
Mhm.
like the tools and you look into the website that they've built and stuff like that, and you really like the tools, I think there's you have to find the right one that you want to actually use the tool, and as opposed to you want to go in there and you want to flip the project. I think you have to find the tool that you like.
Very well
Hello,
said.
everyone.
Hey Ezra, how we doing?
I hope you have a great time for all.
Thank you. I am having a great time.
I, I have two questions.
Of
Go
course.
for it.
Number one, what are you the future NFT or of your team?
I'm sorry, I'm
Um,
not sure exactly I understand the question that you're asking, Ezra.
I mean, what are the future NFT or your team Zooverse?
Oh, a Zooverse question. Let's keep this for janitors for now, and then for Zooverse, maybe in the future we'll have an AMA, and you can and we will answer a question with them. Yeah.
maybe we'll
Okay.
host it for you guys because I feel like you guys are undervalued too.
Yeah, we are. We're only how much are we now? 4.5.
I
For
saw you
each.
at 5 ETH for a split second there, and
I'm
then it went.
telling you. Well, we are not trying to pump our floor that much. Ollie has been super secretive, super quiet. One announcement, and then we went to like 5 ETH. So yeah, I like where we're sitting right now. Just be quiet and let people sleep on us.
Yeah, I saw that you guys have a renting NFT platform coming, which is something I have not seen before, which could be huge.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. I'm excited to mint my Gen 2.
Let's go.
Yeah, so then I'll be engraved into the Zooverse ecosystem because I will not be selling that.
Oh yeah, my question was, when are you buying Gen 1, bro?
If I buy Gen 1, I'll have to sell a llama because I've got a couple different, I've got a couple llamas, but I'm like, man, I can't sell a llama right
Yeah,
now. But then there's other projects like I meant to grab a Gojira a little while ago. It was 1.7, and I was like, man, this is staking's coming soon. It's going to skyrocket. It's inevitable. I got busy working on what we're doing, obviously, because I'm busy doing that all the time now. And 3 days later, I checked in to go buy it at 1.7, and it was 4 ETH. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And so I missed that boat, but there's a bunch of projects that I'm gonna end up buying into just because I know that over time they're gonna sustain um, their growth and continue to grow no matter what. And Zooverse is one of them. Gojira is one of them. Llama's one of them. And then Psychedelics Anonymous is another one where I know it's going to just continue to grow.
yeah, definitely. Ezra, what's your second question? Is it also Zooverse related?
Thank you. The second question was also related to this topic.
Okay.
So thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah. If you want, we will have an AMA in the future, and you can ask away. Ooh, cool.
So how do you accept this project to succeed?
I think this can be also asked to for janitors. So
Yeah, you're right.
What was the question?
she was asking how do you expect your project to go? Like how would you succeed, I think?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, I expect our project to go very well. We're planning for it to go very well. We've got a lot of things in place, and we're taking our time to build right now, um, grow within our community, spread our wings outside the community, and partner up with like-minded projects in order to ensure a smooth mint. And then from there, we plan to execute on our roadmap, which is pretty simple, and surprise a lot of people with some stuff that is not on the roadmap. And I know a lot of projects say this, but we definitely plan to under promise, over deliver. And we've got the right minds and the right people to run this project to do that.
Bullish.
Amazing. Awesome. Thank you so much for your questions, Ezra. So we have a few more people raising their hands right now. We're gonna try and keep, just so you guys know, right? We're gonna try and keep the questions just focused towards janitors. If there are any specific things for Zooverse, right, for me or Morph, we can definitely arrange and assist you guys afterwards. But we're trying to get a little bit of time with Tersis in. We do, or I personally have another meeting that I have to go to in about 10 minutes. So if we could wrap up some questions for you guys last minute, I'm not sure if y'all have any commitments to go to anywhere else. But Suki, how are you doing, girl?
I'm good,
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
have to
How are
hop
you?
off in a couple minutes here, but
Okay, cool. So yeah, so let's see. So we got Suki, and we'll try and get Hemo and Elia in really quick. We'll try and keep these questions short if possible, guys.
Okay. I know you answered this question sort of earlier in your talk, but you said before, like, you know, Zooverse is undervalued, which I think it is as well from the Gen 1. But is that how you spot your projects that you're going to sweep on price, or is it any other, like
yeah,
initially?
I wouldn't even say it's necessarily on price. Obviously, we look at the price and compared to what they're doing. Um,
Hmm.
and and what the art is and who the leaders are. But I think that it's more than just price. I think what it is we're I think a lot of I'm getting to know a lot of founders too. I'm getting to know a lot of people because we host these spaces every single week where we bring on 3 projects that we feel are undervalued. So we get to know these projects pretty well, and so um, there's a lot of stuff on that's online that you can read about and stuff like that. But until you talk to a lot of these people that are running these projects, sometimes you don't necessarily um, get a good vibe from them and from that project until you talk to them. So I think one thing that's going to be pretty important for us is continuing these spaces, these Sunday spaces where we host undervalued projects and we kind of let them pitch to us why they feel like they are undervalued and why they feel like they're not only their floor price, but their project's going to be sustainable and going to continue to grow.
So do projects come to you, or do you spot them and sort them yourself?
Both. So we have projects come to us almost every single week asking to get onto our spaces. Because another great thing about it is we get multiple communities together. So like last night we had feline fiends, we had crypto dads, and we had a pre-mint project on. Well, none of them really knew much about the other project, right? So the founders had some great talks. They had some good back and forths. People asked questions from other communities that that were from feline fiends who didn't necessarily know anything about the crypto dads. And we always have people who leave the space and say, you know what, I got to get a feline fiend or I got to get a crypto dad and stuff like that. So one of our big things is kind of cross pollinating these communities that we feel are undervalued and learning more about them every week on these Sunday spaces. So I think that's going to be a big part of our evaluating projects. And I think it's going to be a big part of our community looking at these projects and saying, this guy was really well spoken and they seem like they have a lot of stuff going on. I would love to see us sweep this project.
No, I think that you're totally right. I mean, you have picked on an area which is totally missed. So yeah, good luck.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for the question.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Suki.
Hey, what's up, Bambi, Morph, Icarus? How are you doing, guys?
How we doing, brother?
I just wanted to ask you, like, you said that when you are investing in project, you're looking at the people, like the one who created the project, the founders. So this is right that Llama is great and Oli and like they're big people we know already that created projects. But how do you know that people like you don't know them so much? Like when you sorry my English is not that great. So were you investing in project? Like how do you know if the founder is a good that you want to invest it in or not if he don't have any product that he already released?
Yeah, so that's tough, right? It's really tough because sometimes these projects get huge hype and you don't even know who's behind them, and that's tough. And for a lot of those projects, I flip them, plain and simple. I flip the project because I know it's got enough hype that it's going to build and it's going to do okay for a short amount of time. But if it's a project that I do think is going to be and do really well, I try to talk to the founders. I try to like I I try to reach out to them. I try to listen into their AMAs to see how they sound, to see how they talk. I think that's really important. And you need to see like, are they doing AMAs? Because if a project is going to stick around for a while and plans to stick around, a lot of times they do a bunch of AMAs. They want people to know them. They want people to hear about what they're doing, right? And so listen into their AMAs, listen to the founders talk, ask them questions, hop onto these AMAs just like you're doing right now and ask them questions. And then from that, you can kind of say, hey, um, this person sounds like they know what they're doing. It sounds like they're passionate about what they're doing. And obviously, people can fake that. They can for sure. But ultimately, I think you can kind of get a grasp for people, their personalities, and what they're building if you really listen to the people talk through AMAs and through stuff like that. So I think that's my first step of a lot of stuff, and I've been successful with it. I mean, Llama was one, and I always say Llama and Voltura because those are two that I latched onto immediately when I got into the space as people that I knew were going to be good leaders in the space, and it's proven to be the case.
All right, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I won't take any of your time. So thank you
Thank you
guys.
so much for the question.
Always good seeing you, man. Thanks for coming up, Ely.
Love you, bro.
Love you too, brother, man. All right, you guys. So I think that is going to conclude it. If there's anything that you guys would like to, right, get in last second, anything you want to really emphasize, because I know we got a lot of great information here. We had a lot of great questions, a lot of great discussions. So I know personally, right, in certain projects, there's so much stuff that you talk about that if there's anything you guys would like to just mention last minute really quickly before everyone hops off, feel free to go for it.
Yeah, I
I
think just the.
fi-
Oh, hey, Wiley, you're back on.
yeah, I made it on.
My
I had to
guy.
leave. I know my daughter has an ear infection and she was starting to make a little fuss. So I just wanted to hop in. I'm glad I caught the very end of this. Terces is great. I'm sure he was spreading the message, but just to one last message for everybody. Exactly what I just heard him saying. I'm sorry if you guys have chatted about this ad nauseum. We bet on people. We bet on teams, right? The PFP stuff was big, and we might still see that happen with purely betting on ARP. But as Terces was saying, get to know us a bit. We're always in the server. I've been in the break room chatting with a lot of the folks that were listening and joined our server and just going back and forth. So that's what's super important to us. We want to be here for the long run. We're not going anywhere. And I think exactly what Tercy said, get to know us a bit and you'll see we're not going anywhere and we're building something big. So appreciate you guys so much for giving us this opportunity. It really means a lot.
Amazing.
Yeah, and ask, like when you get into servers and stuff, ask the OGs about the founders, because if the founders aren't active, or you don't hear them, see them in there, or they're not doing AMAs or anything, that could be a good indicator that, well, I don't know about this project, right? So one thing we definitely do is we're active in the server and we're talking with people. Now, obviously, as we get bigger and stuff like that, we we're growing our team, but we still remain active in that server, and we love taking questions from people and just talking about our project and what we're building.
Beautiful. I love it. Well, what a great way to conclude, you guys. I just want to thank all of y'all for taking the time for coming out, for asking such good questions, and we had a amazing crowd for almost the entire hour and a half of this. So again, one more quick thank you for you guys coming through. Community is everything, really, and it's just super amazing to be able to see so many people interested in such great projects. So once again, thank you, Terces, right, Wiley, the whole janitor squad. Thank you guys for coming over here. And this is going to conclude our episode 9 of the Zootank. You guys, thanks everyone for coming through.
Thank you guys for
Hey,
hosting us. Looking forward to your project and potentially doing some partnered up stuff in the future.
Yeah, we look forward to it, man. And as Morph said, right, anyone who does have questions regarding specific things for Zooverse, give us a little bit of time and we'll try and schedule maybe an AMA in the upcoming week for you guys to get some of those questions asked, because I know we got a lot of new people here who are itching for some information. So once again, thanks everyone for your time. You guys, everyone have a great day, night, evening, sleep, wherever you are in the world. Make sure you take care of yourself and have a great day, guys.
All right. See you.